Good afternoon, everyone. It's Kirsten here for a Thursday Spa Business Break. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a Facebook Live. So I think 2 weeks ago, I was flying on my way to Florida. I was getting ready to attend the Beauty Business Summit with, that's Maxine Drake's event. This was year 2 for it. This time I went as an attendee. I wasn't speaking there. And man, did I ever enjoy myself. The speakers were fantastic. The food was amazing. The people that were there were wonderful. We really had, hey Lily, we really had an opportunity to make some really deep connections with other attendees as well as the speakers. So it was a great event. I highly recommend, if you haven't been yet, that you give it a try. Right now, I believe she's got some early bird specials on. A beautiful location at the Don Cesar in St. Petersburg, Florida. And then we took my husband came with me. We took a little bit of time and did a little bit of vacay. Of course, we had to go to Disney World. Highlight was the Star Wars area. We're total Star Wars fans. Anyways, back to spa business. So we're in October, and this is the time of year where a lot of entrepreneurs and definitely bigger businesses, they are booking their yearly strategy, their yearly planning for what they want to have happen in 2020. And so I know that some of you do this as well. So if you have gotten into the habit of doing yearly planning, like setting aside time for yourself, not in between clients, but really setting aside time to dig into what you want 2020 to deliver for you with your business. Because we all realize, if you've been in the game for a little while, if you don't have a plan, you just kind of roll with the days, and days turn into months, and months turn into years sometimes, and nothing really changes in your business. So today I want to talk about what, as far as a spa business, what strategic planning looks like for you. Now, I personally feel, and I've heard this same feedback from other spa owners, that, the planning part is a really fun part of being an entrepreneur. This is what I like to call the eagle view of your business. Now, we have 2 different views in our business. One of them is what I call the eagle view, and that is definitely big picture. And I call it the eagle view because eagles, even though they can fly very, very high, they have excellent eyesight, so they can still see the details on the ground. The other perspective that you have is hummingbird view. I call this hummingbird view, and that is when you are working in your business. Like a little hummingbird flitting from flower to flower, doing what it needs to do, but it's always like in motion, and it's always very, very close up. And so the purpose of having these kinds of analogies, eagle view and hummingbird view, allows you to identify what perspective you've got at any given time. So if you are trying to do some, even just little bits of planning, maybe you're just kind of mapping out next month's social media posts. And if you are trying to do that in between clients, you are in hummingbird view. You're too close. It's too hard to, try to get your brain into the big picture part of it when all day you've been kind of stuck in this close-up view. So it's really helpful when you are trying to create a strategic plan, trying to map out your action steps, that you do it in a space where you can be in eagle view. That means not in between clients. That means creating a quiet space for you. That means creating a good chunk of quiet time for you to think. We need that clear space and energy to be able to kind of come up with those ideas and be able to think about how we want to map it out and what action steps. So keep in mind, when you are feeling frustrated about your business, if you're trying to work on it, just do a little check-in. Am I in eagle view or am I in hummingbird view? Okay, if you're not in the right view for the work that you need to do, that's just a flag for you to make a decision on how you're going to change that. Trust me, it makes a huge difference. All right. So when we are in planning mode, we are in eagle view. Super fun place to be, because That's really where all the visionary stuff is at. And we get to see the big picture of our business. We get to see the big picture of where we want to go. This is where we get to daydream. I know that I spent a lot of time in the first 2 years of being an esthetician as an employee. I had about a 45-minute commute to work and back, and I often just used that time to daydream about what I wanted my business to look like, what I wanted the space to look like. I daydreamed about what myself and my team would be wearing. I daydreamed what the walls would look like. I daydreamed about how I'd be interacting with clients. And trust me, all the daydreamy stuff is part of manifesting. But when we are wanting to specifically create a strategic plan for the upcoming year, it's critical that you block out time for that. All right, so whether that is, you're committing one of your admin days in October or November to planning out what happens in 2020, or you break it up a little bit, or sometimes it might be even a couple of days that you want to block out for that. Now, when we're in planning mode, when we're in eagle view, this is where we can see the opportunities that can come into our business or that are available to our business. So when it comes to strategic planning for next year, you may be thinking about, different ideas for bringing in new revenue streams. That could be services, that could be products, that could be it could be something kind of different. Maybe you are wanting to start teaching somewhere. Maybe you are wanting to be an educator as a kind of like a side part of your business. So there's all sorts of ideas. Maybe you want to add a online shop to your business. I mean, there's tons and tons of ways to add revenue streams. So that's just one thing to plan out. Maybe you want to invest in a new piece of equipment. Maybe you need to polish up your branding because, what we started off with our brand, as we morph and grow in our businesses, our brand needs to get polished up. So maybe you need a website redo. Maybe you actually need a full branding, like as far as logo and colors. Maybe it's time for a major polish up. Maybe you want to plan an exit strategy for yourself. You tired, ready to retire, and, this just doesn't jazz you up anymore. The spa business doesn't jazz you up. So creating an exit strategy would be a really good idea for your 2020 planning. Maybe you need a stronger digital marketing strategy and action steps. What about if you have a team and you're still in the treatment room? I would very much recommend that you have a plan to get yourself out of the treatment room by the end of 2020. I know that's a hard thing to think about because, my clients don't want to go to anybody else. Trust me, that's a whole lot of ego getting involved in there. Because if you really want to leverage your business with a team, you got to get out of the treatment room. You cannot manage your business effectively and be stuck in a treatment room 7 hours a day, all right? Just if you talk to anybody who's done this, they will tell you the same thing. It's what you need to do for your growth. What about maybe you wanting to hire on team members? That maybe this is the year that you go from solo to team. You're going to need a strategy for how this is going to work so that you're not just, now you have another person on, you've got their payroll to deal with, you've got them to deal with if they're feeling like they don't have enough clients. So you just don't want to get yourself into a pickle without having a plan, okay? Perhaps you are really wanting to up your leadership game. Okay, there needs to be a plan for that. And part of that is also, leadership and mindset go together hand in hand. So maybe this is the year that you're like, okay, I want to step into my leadership in a stronger way and to build my confidence. Gotta have a plan. So, what I recommend is that you book out a day for strategic planning, maybe even 2 days. So next month, myself and one of my SD besties, we have booked out 2 days. She's coming to Victoria and we are having a 2-day retreat style planning retreat. Now, we're gonna build in some self-care in there. We're gonna build in some yummy food, a little bit of exercise, but we also are creating an itinerary for what we're gonna be working on. So we're not just kind of getting together and going, oh, okay, well now what do we do? We both know that we want to head into this day feeling organized and structured and know what we actually want to achieve by the end of the 2 days. The thing about working together on your yearly plan. Now, she has a spa business. I have an online coaching business as well as an agency. So we have completely different businesses. We're going to work together kind of parallel on our strategic planning, but we're also going to be using each other to bounce ideas off of. She is someone in my life who I very much respect her thinking. She's super smart. She's a very strategic thinker. And because she's a spa owner, she's actually my ideal client. So it's really helpful for me to work with her collaboratively in our brainstorming, in our kind of mapping out action steps. For me to help her, I have a different set of skills. And so it's a really nice partnership to come together and both work out our 2020 strategic plans with completely different businesses, but doing it together. It's way more fun when you have the energy of collaboration, especially when you're working with somebody that you trust. Man, you just get so many better ideas. Maybe you've even kind of experienced this when you've gotten together with an SD bestie and you're like, hey, I was thinking about doing this. And they come up with, hey, have you thought of that or this? Or what about this? It's just more juicy and more exciting. And you end up getting really, really great ideas. And we're definitely including all the self-care pieces in there because we know that when we take care of ourselves, when our cup is feeling full, that is when we can pour out of our cup, when it's full. We can't pour out of it when we're empty. So, we're going to book in some, we're thinking about maybe massage or Reiki. We're talking about maybe doing some guided meditations together. Maybe doing a float, definitely going for some good yummy eats. We'll go for walks, get some fresh air, because we know that when we are supporting our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, that we can come together and be working at a much higher level. The truth of the matter is that how we take care of ourselves in our business is a reflection of what we can handle in our business. So you've heard me saying what got you here will not get you there. That goes for how you think. So how you were thinking, when you got you here, that same kind of thinking isn't necessarily going to get you there. So that's why people use coaches. That's why people are researching. That's why people are taking courses. You need more knowledge, more, all sorts of more stuff in order to get to that next level. And we are implementing self-care in that because we know it's critical in how we think. Right? So what about you? What's your plan? What are you going to do for your strategic planning? Are you going to meet up with another friend? Do you have a coach that you work with that will do this with you? I know some coaches have like group planning sessions. I've done that before. I don't think I did a group planning last year, but I did it for the year before and the year before that. Now this year, what I decided to do is I wanted to do more private. So if you are on my email list, yesterday you would have received an email with an offer for a half-day strategy session. So this is an opportunity if you know that strategy is not your strength, if you know that you have all the best intentions to have a strategy day with yourself, but it just won't happen. If you know that you book the time, you create the strategy, and you kind of sit there and go, or you want to create the strategy and you're like, I don't even know where to start, then you want to do this with somebody else. So that's what the offer is for a half-day strategy. So we would get on a Zoom. You don't have to, if you're here in Victoria, we can meet in person. You can come into my office and we can work in here. But if you don't live local, we can do this by Zoom video conferencing. And so we'll hop on a Zoom and I'll walk you through your 2020 strategy. We'll work on exactly what you want as far as goals at the end of the year, and then we're going to reverse engineer it as far as deciding what your action steps need to be. So with that half-day strategic planning, you get 3 hours. I'll send you a documented I send you a document for your 2020 plan and the action steps. So you've got something to follow. And then you also have a full month of support with me with that session. So if you know you don't want to do it by yourself, let's do it together. All you need to do is just send me a DM or pop something in the comment here and I'll get the conversation started with you. I have four spots. One of them has already been taken. And so there's 3 left. So if that's something that interests you, let me know and we can map out your 2020 strategy together. It's really actually quite fun. All right, thanks for joining me for another Thursday Spa Business Break. I will be back here next Thursday at 12 noon Pacific. Thanks for watching.